Major Adam Wojack is a spokesman for the International Security Assistance Force. He joins us now by phone from the Afghan capital, Kabul. Major Wojack, we thank you very much for your time this morning. What's the latest on the hunt for the Afghan gunman?
Well, the latest is that we're still searching for the Afghan gunman who did kill those 3 Australian ISAF soldiers, but we haven't found him yet, and we have his name. We have his family name. We know where he's from. We know he was an actual Afghan National Army soldier and rank and everything. We know everything we need to know about him. Now we just have to find him, and that could take some time. We'll see.
Do you know whether he had help to flee the area?
We don't. We do know that he acted alone. He was a single shooter from a guard post, actually, and he did engage and kill those Australian ISAF soldiers. Then he jumped over a fence and fled on foot. So we do know that he tried to rally some help, but we don't know if he was able to succeed at that or if he did, in fact, have any. As far as we know, he acted alone and he fled alone.
Can you confirm that his name is Lieutenant Hekmatullah?
The rank, I wasn't sure if the rank was lieutenant, but that does sound correct, yes.
Okay. Well, 48 NATO troops have now been killed in 31 incidents this year. That compares to 31 so-called inside attacks last year. What's prompted this rise?
Well, General Allen, our ISAF commander, did a press conference, did an interview last week, and he said, we're not really sure. There are a number of factors that are at play, and we believe that one of those was the annual Muslim holiday Ramadan, the 30-day holiday of daily fasts, and that could have played a factor because it began mid-July, ended in mid-August, and that was the period where we experienced this spike of insider attacks, which a lot of you are familiar with as green on blues. Also, we think another possibility is desperation on the part of the opposition, the Taliban. They aren't able to, despite what you read in the papers about these insider attacks, it makes things seem like they're going a lot worse than they are. Things are actually, in other ways that aren't so easily seen, things are actually going much, much better. The Afghan National Security Forces are taking the lead in so many areas, and there's so many of them out there, almost 350,000. And most of the casualties we take every day in Afghanistan are Afghan troops securing their nation and engaging the Taliban. And we do think the Taliban is trying to drive a wedge in between ISAF, the coalition here, and the Afghan National Security Forces. While every day, 100,000 plus ISAF troops are working with 300,000 plus Afghan National Security Force troops.
Yeah, the commander of ISAF, General John Allen, who you mentioned earlier, he said that most of these attacks stem from personal disputes, stress or cultural disagreements. So what's being done to stem these attacks from happening? Yes.
Well, there is a belief and I should say an initiative for us to get closer to our Afghan counterparts rather than move away. The old saying, to understand is to, or to communicate is to understand, and to understand is to learn to appreciate another. And the closer we get to our Afghan counterparts, the belief is the greater we'll understand them and they'll understand us, and some of these disputes or misunderstandings may just go away. We'll see. We also are taking protective measures. We're taking more precautions in situations where we're not so sure about the possible loyalty of our Afghan counterparts. But by and large, you'll see, like I said, over 100,000 ISAF soldiers working together with over 300,000 Afghan National Security Force members every day, largely without incident.
But it does seem as though that these inside attacks are increasing as the handover to local forces and the withdrawal of foreign forces comes closer in 2014. Do you expect to see more of these kind of attacks in the next 2 years?
Well, you are correct. The attacks are increasing. And General Allen himself, we're all struggling to find out why. We have our ideas why. As far as what the future holds, It's really difficult to say. I mean, we can't speculate on what's going to happen, but you are correct. I mean, they have the curve is going up and up and up, and August has been the most tragic month we've had this year, which has been the most tragic year we've had for insider attacks. So we're doing everything we can to try to understand it and to try to prevent it, but these somehow these onesies and twosies, these attackers still seem to find a way to conduct their attacks.
Is there a lot of mistrust now between NATO forces and the Afghan National Army troops?
In a general sense, I would say no. I mean, we still work with them every day. Nothing's changed. On a more tactical level, we've taken, like I said, we've taken some precautions, some force protection precautions. You've probably heard about the Guardian Angel program initiative, where there's always an ISAF soldier in a dominant overwatch position whenever there's a partnered operation, and every individual soldier is a bit more prepared now to respond just in case there is an insider attack. But in a general sense, no. But maybe on a smaller tactical individual sense, sure.
Does there need to be more cultural understanding on behalf of ISAF troops? We saw earlier this year, of course, the outrage that the Quran burnings caused. Does more cultural understanding, will that help to bridge this gap and maybe, in fact, more contact with moderate elements of the Taliban, so that you don't get these extreme elements infiltrating the Afghan National Army? Are those the kind of things that ISAF will be looking at?
Well, you're hitting the nail on the head there. It definitely can't hurt, and I think General Allen has also touched upon that. We need to, I mean, the Quran burning, the corpse issue, several of the events that occurred early in the year that have prompted backlash against ISAF. They definitely didn't help our cause, and we have to learn from that. And yeah, I know. Even though we've been here 11 years, you'd think that collectively we would be wiser in our dealings with our Afghan counterparts. But it's a new group every 6 months to a year, and sometimes it's the same old hard mistakes that are learned each time. Even though our training improves, you're still getting a new crop of people. And I think after these events of the wintertime and now, I think we're starting to realize how serious this is. And I think that's absolutely correct. We definitely do need to train our troops on cultural awareness better, so we can find a way to prevent these things.
Adam Wojack, if we just go back to the events from yesterday, the gunman Hekmatullah, do we have any idea what his motivation was for the attack?
We do not at this point, and these things are really hard to know because often the gunmen are killed or they get away. We never find them, so hard to know what the motivation is. But you never know what it could have been. We don't know if he was on leave, came back, and often there's a pattern of soldiers or Afghan National Security Force members going on leave, going home, especially during a holiday, and coming back and being newly somehow emboldened against ISAF for whatever reason and committing these attacks. But as far as Hekmatullah, we don't at this time know what motivated him.
Major Adam Wojack, we thank you very much for your time this morning.
Hey, thank you for having me on the show. Thank you.